Hello everyone, this is Tina. How are you doing today? In this video, we are gonna talk about cascade. Okay, so if an operation, okay, cascades, an operation cascades, if it follows the reference. So what does cascade mean? By default, none of the operation cascade. So suppose here we have a person. Let's using black. We have a class and have a person. Doesn't matter the one-to-one or one-to-many. Here we're just using one-to-one to save our time. Okay. A person has address. And here in the person, we have address. Okay. And here we have 1, 2, 1. Now the problem comes. Okay. Suppose when I create a person, and we give some values, okay? And I have address here. And we have address value. And p dot set address equal, give a here. Then I using em dot persist p. So persist here is an operation. An operation cascades if it follow a reference. What I mean? So when I save p, okay, when I try to save p, and inside the person it has a reference to the address. So when I save p, do I save this address too? By default, nothing. Okay, by default, none of the operation cascades. Here, persist is the operation. What other operation? Persist is operation. What other? Detach. Okay, if I detach person, do we also detach address? By default, is none, and it has a merge. Okay, if I merge person back to the persistent context, do we also merge address? By default, no. And refresh, okay, for the stale data and also for remove. By default, none of the operation cascade. If we want, we have to add cascade. Okay, how to do that? Let's see our example. Here I'm gonna using the one-to-one relationship, and here we have a join column, right? Under this customer, let me make it to B. Shared prime. What's the last one I talked about? I talked about the car person. Sorry, excuse me. Tired today. Okay, so I uncomment them so it won't generate. Okay, and here we have a customer, and we have a one-to-one relationship with the address. In the address, okay, we will have an ID, address ID. Let me make the customer and address both of the ID to be auto-generated. Okay. Okay. Good. And now if I in my main I want to do something here, I will new customer. Okay, let me create a what thing? Create a constructor. Okay, I will just set it for first name, last name. For the address, I will call the set method. Okay, And here, let's create one for this custom address. Also insert a constructor, just a zip code. And for the customer, because here we're using bidirectional relationship, we have to maintain by ourselves. So per customer C equals new customer, and I give first name Miss, last name is XING, and also I have to create an address. Oh my god, PDR address equals new address. Okay, and I give what's the thing? Address has what it is? Street 1000 North 4th Street. Okay, and the zip code 52556. Okay, and then I have to using C set address to be this address. And if we want to maintain, we have to maintain the bidirectional relationship. So we have to set address dot what's the thing? Okay, address dot set customer to be C, right? So in this case, from both of the sides, it's a bidirectional relationship. Now I using em dot persist. Guess what's gonna happen? Guess what's gonna happen? Sorry. Oh, in this case, I think no exception, because the only side is the other side. Oh, yeah. Very good. Okay. Yes. This is, we're gonna have exception. Take a look at what's the exception. Object.happened transient property value exception. Object reference an unsaved instance. Save transient instance before flashing. And this is because when we're trying to save address, and it's gonna throw this exception. So what's the problem here? The problem is here. When we trying to save a customer, right? We are trying to save a customer, and for this address, it's a transient object. And in this case, we are gonna have problem, because when we save a customer, we have to get what this address, this customer belongs to, right? We have to get the ID for the address, but this is a transient object. And when we persist the customer, the Hibernate don't know what should we do for this one, because we didn't specify for the cascade. Cascade, which means, see here, cascade. When I save P, by default, there's no cascade operation, which means when I save P, it doesn't save address. And in order to maintain the address, we have to save address. So it's a problem. And to solve the problem, what should we do? And we can give cascade persist. So what does this one mean? It means when we save customer, okay, if this address is transient, also persist. If it's already persisted, there's no need. Okay, so by solving this issue, like a transient property value exception, this one, you just make sure you have a correct cascade here. Okay, you can using persist, or you can using all. All means all the operation here, persist, detach, merge, refresh, remove. All operations is gonna cascade. So when we delete the customer, it will also delete the address. Here I will switch back to persist because it's enough for us in this case. Okay, so run. I forgot. I see this one is 1-to-1. Then I was thinking it's unidirectional. That's why I say save customer, it won't have the exception, but it's bidirectional. So we have to add a cascade here. So now no problem, and it insert the value into the customer and address. Let's take a look at. Here we have customer, and the missing is saved correctly, and I have address here. And you can see address also saved correctly, and the customer ID is associated with this one, okay, the one. So this is a cascade for persist. And now, okay, if I remove, this C, and let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, I remove this C. Let's see what's gonna happen. Sorry, excuse me. You will see it only has one delete. And let's take a look at the table again. Refresh, and customer, no customer anymore, but the address still here. And you can see it's not removed because by default, we talk about by default, no operation is a cascade. And in this case, we only specify cascade to be persist, right? We only persist. And here, when we remove, we are removing customer. That's why the address is not removed. And if we want to remove both, you can have multiple. The easiest way is using cascade type.o. Okay, let's run one more time. I didn't change it here. It's gonna insert first and gonna remove both of them. Take a look at it. You can see still already have two delete. Okay, so here refresh customer, nothing, and address, nothing. So it won't have like, because we remove customer, but the customer here or also mentioned is 1, right? So this is a cascade. Basically, which is when we follow a reference, does the operation also cascade? And by default, none of the operation cascade. And if you want to specify, just add a cascade, and you can specify multiple. And the ultimate one is the cascade type O. When you set O, all the operations will be cascade. Okay, follow the reference. Let me see if we have a cascade. Oh, it also have a cascade annotation here. This cascade annotation is inside the hibernate, which means it's not part of the JPA specification. So if you switch to Open Link or Eclipse Link, then this annotation doesn't exist. But this cascade, it exists inside the JPA, so you are safe to use them even though you switch the API. Okay, see here. See here, all of them is from Java persistence, Java X.persistent, this package. But the cascade annotation, you can see here is from Hibernate. Okay, so just use them. If you need on the Hibernate, you can use in the Hibernate APIs too. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.